They have been blowing out the competition. I want to get your thoughts on Indiana.
I like Indiana, and that leads me into something I wanted to bring up tonight. I'll get to in a second. Indiana's defense has been the key factor that's carried them. When you look at it, they have not given up more than really 3 possessions against offenses, except for really 2 games. Now, you could say that the level of competition compared to Penn State, Ohio State, or whoever else in the Big Ten, even though they all pretty much played the same schedule in terms of conference opponents, but like you're looking at Maryland. Well, Maryland is 1-4 in conference play. They're 4-4 overall. Michigan State looking okay, but they're 4-5 now. But when you really look into it, forget who they're playing. Look at how they're playing. They're playing really good, getting turnovers on defense. They're not turning the ball over too much offensively. I think that they're in a really good position to make the Big Ten championship potentially, which I will get to in a second. I love Curtis Rourke. If I say that last name correctly, over 2,000 yards throwing the ball. Justice Ellison is one of the best running backs in the Big Ten with 669 yards on the ground. He averages about 6 yards a carry. He's already got 9 rushing touchdowns, tied with Tyson Lawton, the backup running back. And then you look at their defense, just really, really good. Aiden Fisher leads in tackles at 84. Amari Farrell at 4 interceptions on the year. There's a lot of great talent for Indiana, and I want to know why they're not being talked about as much as these other Big Ten teams. Is it the schedule that they played? Maybe it is, and I could get that. But when you really look at it on paper and everything, they have been one of the more consistent and more dominant teams in the Big Ten. And real quick, that leads me into this, Mayhem, before we get back to you, because I want your thoughts on this. Notice you have these particular teams in the Big Ten, okay? If I told you in this season, right, you have Indiana, you have Oregon, and before the Ohio State game, you had Penn State, all undefeated. Is that not awesome or what? But here's the trick. They don't have to play each other. Let's play hypothetical and say Penn State was to finish. Let's say they beat Ohio State last weekend. I know they didn't, but let's say if they did pull that off, they'd still be
one of the best YouTubers on all of YouTube. Valor Sports Media. Valor Sports Media.